Hello everyone, we're back with another year of TwoClan. There was an extinction event this year in which we lost a lot of cats, so before jumping into StarClan, I'd like to tell you all what happened. This event happened near the end of the year, so the apprentices of last year are now all warriors, and the kids are apprentices, so some names may have changed. Also, some slight content warnings. No blood or other gore is shown, however there are a lot of deaths or implied death in the next part. If you want to avoid this section, then you can jump ahead to this timestamp. Alright, here we go. Bramblefoot was looking out over the ocean. The sun had already set beneath the horizon, after a long greenleaf day. The horizon was clear and the sea was quiet, but Bramblefoot couldn't help but feel like something was wrong. She settled into her nest for the night and eventually fell asleep. In the middle of the night, the clan was woken up by Crowtail calling out, "Everyone wake up! Camp is flooding!" "Evacuate camp!" yelled Gilquil. "Squid Dusk, take some cats and go help the elders. I'll take care of Jellyby Star." "Gather the herbs," said Squid Dusk to Buttfleck as he headed off to the elders' den. "I need to help the medics," said Lavernabelly. "Go, I'll get the kids." Larimore Jasmine nuzzled Lavernabelly in a quick goodbye. "Be careful." Usually salt water was only present in camp in small puddles, but now most of the clearing was flooded and water was pouring into camp from behind the shipwreck. Cats immediately sprung into action, any sleepiness gone in an instant. Larimore, Jasmine and Frost Daisy gathered the two apprentices Slowpaw and Fallenpaw. They were the first out of camp, but even so the water had already come up to their belly fur by the time they made it out. Buttfleck, Slushy Shell and Lavernabelly quickly followed, having gathered some of the most important herbs and carrying them to safety. Elkina and Bramblefoot had volunteered to help Squid Dusk with the others. Bramblefoot supported Coyote Stone and they safely made it out of camp. However, Dova was struggling on the wet rocks with her 3 tired legs. She lost her grip and slipped into the water. Squid Dusk and Elkina tried to pull her out, when a large crack was heard as part of the cliff face surrounding camp collapsed and the 3 cats vanished into the darkness. With the fast-rising waters in the camp entrance now blocked, the remaining cats had no other option than to climb the cliffs surrounding camp. Timberflame and Slimespeckle had to forcibly remove Yellowbright from his nest. Timberflame led the grieving Tom onward as Slimespeckle pushed from behind. Suddenly the cliff collapsed beneath Slimespeckle's paws, and she fell into the dark water below. Due to the howling wind and the rushing waves, neither Timberflame nor Yellowbright heard Slimespeckle fall. Timberflame looked around to find her mate missing. "Where's Slimespeckle?" she called. "She was right behind me," said Yellowbright. "Timberflame, Yellowbright, up here! Quickly!" Buttfleck called from above. Buttfleck and Frost Daisy helped the 2 cats climb to safety. On the other side of camp, Frost Lightning, Girl Sand, Drip Branch and Whimsy Drip were climbing the slippery rocks. Suddenly Whimsy Drip slipped and tumbled down a cliff. Drip Branch saw his brother fall and dove down after him into the water. Both brothers disappeared beneath a high wave. Girl Sand tried to go after his friends, but Frost Lightning pulled him back by the scruff, unwilling to let their clan mates risk his life. The last cats still on the cliff were Jellyby Star, Gulquill and Crowtail. Crowtail scouted the best path ahead, while Gulquill supported the aging leader. The clan watched them as they made their way up. On one of the jumps, Jellyby Star did not calculate the distance correctly. He came short of the ledge and fell down into the water. The leader stayed submerged for a long while, as the whole clan held their breath. "Over there, by High Point!" called Crowtail. Gulquill hurried over and pulled the leader to safety. The survivors of TwoClan gathered at the top of the cliff. Many were standing over the edge, looking for their loved ones. All cats were shivering in the cold, but too much in shock to seek shelter, as reality settled in. Squid Dusk, Elkina, Dova, Slimespeckle, Whimsy Drip, and Drip Branch disappeared into the night. That was the extinction event. The event in-game just said that these cats disappeared into the night, and while that is very mysterious and a more magical explanation could be given for this event, I did want to keep it grounded in reality for TwoClan's story, so it became a flooding event. And just as a heads up, to save on time I won't be redrawing all the StarClan cats and some of the living cats. So let's jump into StarClan. Starting with Featherspot. the sister of Lakeheart and Yellowbright, who was the first cat to die this year. She died at 25 moons old to a snake bite, in the same moon as the extinction event. I was sad to see her go, she had such a fun personality. Then now the cats that died in the extinction event. Squiddusk died at 38 moons old. This year he started to become close with his fellow medic Buttfleck, and he regrets that he had to leave her on her own. He watches over TwoClan from Silverpelt and often tries to send omens to his sister Bramblefoot. Elkina died at 100 moons old trying to help her friend Dova. She had been debating to join the others, but now she will get her rest in StarClan. Dova died at 118 moons old. Early this year she joined the Elders then. She had found her new disability hard to adjust to, and she and Jedi Star decided it was best for her to retire a little early. She enjoyed some moons of rest before she joined StarClan. Thyme Speckle died at 63 moons old. She's unhappy about her early passing and wished she could have spent more time with Timberflame. But she is relieved Timberflame and Yellowbright made it to safety. Whimsy Drip died at 17 moons old. He became a grumpy Tom as he became older and holds a grudge against Jedi Star for his late graduation. He also dislikes his name, since his Drip suffix is also his brother's prefix. Drip Ranch died at 17 moons old. He also became a warrior late, and though he does not hold a grudge, he does question Jedi Star's motives behind this decision. He doesn't regret jumping after his brother, but does hope his mother Buttfleck forgives him for leaving her all alone. Then on to the living cats, beginning with the 136 moon old leader Jedi Star. This year he started showing some favoritism to his kids Girlsand and Crowtail, like making them warriors early, before any of the older apprentices. He also lost some lives during the extinction event, but the clan is unsure how many. Gilquail is being a good deputy. He really didn't do anything else. I gave him a somewhat prominent role in the event story because he has shown to be an effective deputy. Other than that, he has little personality. Gilquail is now 64 moons old. Buttfleck is now the only medic of TwoClan and is 54 moons old. She lost both her sons in the extinction event and is still grappling with the loss. She wonders if it was a sign from StarClan that her kids were indeed never meant to be. She has managed to grab herself together fairly well and keeps the medic den up and running with the support of Frost Daisy and Lavender Belly. Slushy Shell is now 131 moons old. He is still the only mediator, but hopes to pass his position on to a younger cat in the future so that he could retire. The amount of grief in the clan has made him feel powerless lately, and he wonders if it would have been better if he had remained a warrior. Lavender Belly and Larimar Chasm are now the oldest warriors of the clan at 76 and 65 moons old. The two are still processing the loss of Squiddusk, who was Larimar Chasm's son. Larimar Chasm especially was hit hard by this loss. It seems that the Cold Tom always had a big soft spot for his kids. Meanwhile, Lavender Belly tries to support both Larimar Chasm and Bramblefoot through this loss. The two are glad to still have their kids Bramblefoot, Slowwing, and Fallen Paw. Frost Daisy is 70 moons old. He became Fallen Paw's mentor after Featherspots passed away, and ever since the clan lost Squiddusk, he has been helping the remaining medic Buttfleck out here and there. Other than that, he has not done much this year. Timberflame is now 60 moons old. This she-cat had a hard year, with losing 2 of her adopted kids, her mate, and her former apprentice. She is trying to support her remaining kids Yellowbright, while not trying to fall apart herself. Clan life has not been kind to her so far, and Timberflame hopes for a change of luck in the future. Bramblefoot is now 41 moons old and is not doing great. She has clairvoyant abilities and had some visions of the flood before it happened, but never quite knew what to do with them. She wonders that if she had become medic instead of her brother Squiddusk, she could have made sense of her visions and prevented a lot of cats dying. Since she lost her brother, she has been avoiding the medic den, unwilling to face the memories. But during a treatment for snakebite, she opened up to Frost Lightning, and the two became close. Bramblefoot slowly started visiting them in the medic den. Frost Lightning is 33 moons old and came out as non-binary this year. They are currently injured from an accident with a monster. During a patrol, they crossed the thunder path without looking and got hit. Now they have a broken back and are forced to stay put in the medic den. They hate being stuck in one place and dislike the medics overall, but are happy that Bramblefoot has started to visit them. They hope they can start rehabilitation soon and go out on patrols again. Yellow Bright is 28 moons old. He also did not have a good year. His late graduation has left him a bit bitter and he has become Grumpy Tom. His siblings tried to cheer him up, but every time they did, Yellow Bright snapped at them. The last interactions he had with his siblings Featherspot and Lakeheart were fights, and he is feeling quite guilty about it. Unbeknownst to him, Featherspot is looking out for him from StarClan, and wishes she could tell him how much she loves him and that she is proud of the warrior he is becoming. Girlsand is now 19 moons old. He was made a warrior quite a bit early by his father, Jellyby, which he thinks is entirely fair. Girlsand is a bit stuck up and a strict follower of the warrior code, but he does love his friends and family wholly and would do anything to protect them. He was left in shock after the flood that took so many lives and is slowly recovering from the guilt of not saving Drip Branch and Whimsy Drip. Crowtail is Girlsand's brother and also 19 moons old. After Dova moved into the Elder's Den, Flimespeckle became his new mentor and he is sad that she died. But he knows his mentor was proud of him. He is now a playful Tom and a good speaker. When he became a warrior, ClanGen tried to name him Crowfeather, which was hilarious because Crowfeather from the books has the opposite personality. I did change the name to Crowtail. The tail suffix is inspired by his half-brother Yellowpaw, one who he never knew, whose name would have been Yellowtail. Crowtail's design already borrows some elements of Yellowpaw's, so I thought it fitted perfectly. Slowwing is the youngest warrior of TwoClan at 14 moons old. He became a warrior a moon ago, and his brother is still an apprentice. Slowwing was mainly trained by Jellyby and some of the senior warriors, and looking up to these great figures made him an ambitious Tom. He is also a prophecy seeker, but has trouble using this skill. Fallenpaw is Slowwing's brother and is also 14 moons old. He is still an apprentice due to his playful behavior, but he doesn't mind that. He was mentored by Featherspot and now by Frost Daisy. As a kid he was playing with Jay Feathers, and he keeps them with him at all times so he has something to do in case he gets bored. And finally, the elder of the clan, Coyote Stone. She's now 136 moons old and still doing good. She is glad that her kin made it out of camp safely during the flood. She has been doing a lot of elder things, like telling the same story over and over again, but not much else. Those were all the cats of year 7. During this year we did also lose Bryce and Lakeheart, who did not die but were taken by Two Legs. We may see both of them return in future years. Thus, in total, TwoClan lost 10 cats this year and there were no new additions. It was a dark year, but every cloud has a silver lining. When I initially began this series, my goal was to make 7 of these videos. But now I'd like to continue a bit further. I want to finish the story of the last clan founder, Coyote Stone. So, for as long as she lives, there will be a new TwoClan video. Thus, there will be year 8, hopefully in about 3 or 4 weeks. Until then, take care.